Welcome to Freedom Press, news and stories you can depend on. The U.S. leaving NATO? Senator Mike Lee's bold call for withdrawal. The U.S. leaving NATO? Mike Lee's call to exit NATO, a bold stand against a failing alliance after Norwegian fuel snub. Senator Mike Lee, RUT, has thrust the United States' continued membership in NATO into the spotlight, issuing a powerful and long overdue demand for America to abandon the increasingly dysfunctional alliance. His frustration boiled over after Equinor, a major Norwegian energy company headquartered in a NATO member state, made the audacious decision to refuse refueling services to U.S. Navy ships stationed in Norwegian waters. The company's flimsy excuse? Environmental concerns, a justification that rings hollow when viewed against its apparent tolerance of Russia's polluting naval operations in the same region. In a searing post on X on Friday, Lee laid bare the absurdity of the situation. Why are we still in NATO? A Norwegian company, based in a NATO member country, refuses to refuel U.S. Navy ships because of environmental concerns. Norway's fine with Russia's Navy polluting the seas, but not ours. Time to leave. This isn't just a petty spat over fuel. It's a damning indictment of NATO's erosion into irrelevance and hypocrisy. Established in 1949 as a bulwark against Soviet aggression, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization once symbolized unity and resolve among Western nations. Today, it's a fractured coalition of freeloaders and posturers, where allies like Norway undermine the very superpower that has kept them safe for decades. Equinor's refusal to support U.S. military operations isn't an isolated incident. It's a symptom of a deeper malaise within NATO, a growing disconnect between America's sacrifices and the ingratitude of its so-called partners. Senator Lee's call to exit the alliance isn't merely a reaction to this latest insult. It's a rallying cry for Americans to rethink a relationship that has become more burden than benefit. Consider the facts. The United States has poured trillions of dollars into NATO over the decades, maintaining a military presence across Europe and beyond to deter threats and secure the freedoms of its allies. American taxpayers have funded this effort year after year, while many NATO members, Norway included, have consistently failed to meet the alliance's modest defense spending target of 2% of GDP. Yet, when the U.S. Navy, a linchpin of NATO's strategic dominance in the North Atlantic, seeks basic logistical support in Norwegian waters, it's met with a sanctimonious shrug. Equinor's environmental excuse might sound noble in a corporate press release, but it crumbles under scrutiny. Russia's Navy, which operates aggressively in the Arctic and North Atlantic, burns through fuel and churns out emissions with impunity. Yet Norway's corporate guardians don't seem to mind. This glaring double standard exposes the truth. This isn't about principle. It's about picking and choosing when to inconvenience the United States. The implications are chilling. The U.S. Navy's presence in the region isn't some optional exercise. It's a critical component of NATO's mission to secure vital sea lanes and counter Russian expansionism. By refusing to refuel American ships, Norway isn't just complicating military logistics. It's signaling that it's willing to prioritize trendy environmentalism over the alliance's core purpose. If NATO members can't be counted on to support the basic operational needs of the United States, the country that has carried the alliance on its back for 75 years, what's the point of staying tethered to this sinking ship? Senator Lee's question cuts to the heart of the matter. Why are we still in NATO when our allies act more like adversaries? This isn't the first time NATO's flaws have been laid bare. Former President Donald Trump, a vocal critic of the alliance, spent years highlighting its inequities, pointing out that the U.S. shoulders a disproportionate share of the financial and military load while European nations coast along, reaping the benefits of American protection. Trump's warnings were dismissed by establishment figures as brash or divisive, but incidents like Equinor's snub prove he was onto something. The Cold War is long over, the Soviet Union is a memory, and the threats facing the world today, whether from Russia, China, or elsewhere, demand a more agile, America-first approach to global security. NATO, with its bloated bureaucracy and mismatched priorities, is a relic of a bygone era, ill-suited to the challenges of the 21st century. Leaving NATO wouldn't mean retreating from the world stage. It would mean reclaiming America's sovereignty and redirecting its resources to partnerships that actually work. The U.S. could build stronger, more flexible bilateral alliances with nations that share its strategic vision, countries willing to pull their weight rather than lean on American generosity. Imagine a future where U.S. military might isn't bogged down by the petty politics of fair-weather allies like Norway, where American ships don't have to beg for fuel from companies more interested in green optics than global stability. Senator Lee's proposal offers a path to that future, one where the United States isn't chained to an alliance that increasingly takes it for granted. The Equinor fiasco should be a tipping point. For too long, Americans have watched their country prop up a coalition that delivers diminishing returns. Norway's refusal to support the U.S. Navy isn't just an inconvenience. It's an affront to the countless American sailors, soldiers, and taxpayers who've sacrificed for the sake of NATO's promises. The Biden administration may have clung to the status quo, and NATO's leadership may trot out tired talking points about unity, but the American people deserve better. Donald Trump demands better, and now Senator Mike Lee has thrown down the gauntlet. His argument is compelling. It's time to cut the cord, walk away from NATO, and forge a new era of American strength unencumbered by the dead weight of ungrateful allies. For more news and information, make sure to click subscribe, like, and leave a comment below.